Did you, where's that email?
Email,
The
the
email.
first one. First one. Below.
Is it that one?
This is the one, and then this one. This is Adams, Adil, and then Kapinde to National Commissioner.
Did you receive, there was an email that was sent to your office by the then Minister's Chief of Staff, Mr. Gabinde, that the matter had been referred to IDEC, and also a further, sorry, if I may just read it to you. It's why does the public service always have the date right at the bottom? It's on the 11th of November 2024. It's addressed to the investigating director, IDEC, referral and request for investigation in terms of Section 27. Attached, please find, for ease of reference, a copy of written correspondence addressed to the Honourable Minister of Police, Honourable Senzo Mchunu, by Member of Parliament, Honourable Fadil Adams. The allegations contained therein implicate very senior members of the South African Police and are viewed in a serious light, and case dockets were registered as per the following case numbers. Then there's one Langplater case number and 3 Orlando case numbers. Due to the nature of the allegations made by the Honourable Fadil Adams, which seem to be quite sensitive and which contains allegations of criminal misconduct, this office requests the investigating director to consider investigating the same. Honourable Fadil Adams was advised by the office to await your decision in this regard, and it's signed by Mtokozizi Kabinde, Chief of Staff, 11 November 2024. Do you recall seeing?
Honourable Chair and members, yes, we did receive such a letter. IDEC didn't act on that letter because it's not a Section 27 referral. He wrote to us to consider and says it is a Section 27 referral. There is the person who's making the referral, Honourable Chair and members, which is how Section 27 reads, must depose to an affidavit. There was no affidavit. This was Mr. Nkabinde writing and alerting us to a matter. We were approached by Mr. Adams, and when we were approached by Mr. Adams, we then asked Mr. Adams to depose to a Section 27 affidavit. And so even though that letter talks to dockets, we didn't go and get those dockets at that stage because we didn't have a proper Section 27 referral. So we had to get a statement from Mr. Adams after Mr. Adams approached our office.
Did you respond to Chief of Staff Kabinde?
No, sir.
Why not?
At the time, I can't, other than the letter had come in, and I think it wasn't much long after that Adams would have engaged with the investigators. But at the time, I received the letter, and that was it. I didn't act on the letter because there wasn't anything to act on.
So, were you aware that the matter had also been referred to South African Police Services?
Only insofar as Mr. Adams, in his affidavit, indicated his initial report to a police station somewhere in the Western Cape, and then his reporting of same to a police station in Gauteng. That is the only SAPS references that IDEC is aware of.
So if I may just, Honourable Chair, refer to we asked earlier for an adjournment just to put together a further exhibit bundle of documents. Do you have it there, Ms. Johnson?
I have a document, Chair. At the top, it says Annexure MK15 and a number 269 on the right-hand corner, and it is a set of documents.
Can you refer to the page with 283 at the top, and honourable members also, Chair?
Honourable Chair, if I may ask Council to just read what that letter would start with, because
No, I'm referring
many
just to
of them, sorry, I have a 2.8, and then I don't have anything after the 2.8s. There's no 2.81, 2.82, 2.83. So maybe if you just say what the top of that...
It appears to be cut off.
Yes.
Must be crime intelligence.
So maybe if you could just give us the heading of what that document would start with, Council, then I know which page I'm supposed to be
Maybe
on.
something. And before that, is there a document with a SEP's badge? Just before that. Before that document.
Maybe Tara, it's the next page of the complaints document with the heading complaints. And then it's the next page.
There is a document with a SAPS badge, and it purports to be
And
an
then-
email from the National Inspectorate Bopela HA Lieutenant Colonel. And then my next page with the 2.8 says NB,
And this is
feedback
the one
must
with
reach
cut
the
off.
office.
Yeah. If you see at the top there, there's an email from Gabindi CM,
Yes,
dated Friday, 1 November.
at 9:04,
Yes,
I am there.
that's the document. So you'll see there that's an email from Chief of Staff in Kabinde, dated Friday, 1 November. Good morning, Major General Sipola. The ministry has received this complaint from the Member of Parliament, Mr. Mchunu at the time, an intern that he was referring it to the police.
Not at all, Honourable Chair.
Sorry, ma'am?
Not at all.
And this is it's also, yeah, okay, that's more comment. I'm not going to raise that with you. Now, if you should, right at the front of the bundle, there should be, it's called an information note, which is addressed to the National Commissioner. I'm afraid it's also cut off, but maybe some of you are lucky to have it recorded there as page 273.
The third page.
It would be the third page in the bundle. I think.
Would that be an information note?
It's an information note addressed to the National Commissioner.
And above the information note, does it say SCS 19/11 of 2024 and?
Yes, Advocate.
I am there, Chair.
Yeah, thank you. And now it ends probably about 5-6 pages further on, and what should be page 280, and it's dated 30 July 2025, and it's signed by Lieutenant General Divisional Commissioner, Inspectorate P.A. Jacobs. You see that? Now,
See that?
this memo records the passage of this complaint by Honourable Adams, and how it gets to the National Commissioner, and eventually as I said, it concludes with the signature of General Jacobs. You'll see this is headed complaint against SAPS, allegations of corruption and defeating the ends of justice. Complainant F. Adams. The purpose of the information note is to provide a response to the allegations that 1. The Division Inspectorate was complicit and irregular in the handling of a service complaint levelled by Mr. F. Adams, MP, and 2. To reflect on an averment that the Division Inspectorate irregularly handed 7 dockets to the Investigating Directorate Against Corruption, IDAC. So just to pause there, were those the dockets that would have been requested by the IDAC investigation team?
The dockets that were requested are those dockets. They were, however, requested by myself as the ID on a letter to the Divisional Commissioner Detectives, Lieutenant General Sentumule, given that as the Divisional Commissioner Detectives, I automatically and ordinarily assumed that any dockets to be found, or if they were at head office, would have been with the detective component, hence my writing to the head of detectives.
And when would that have been? Because you received the complaint also in early November, and you said that it landed on your desk for further investigation, authorization mid-December.
I will, when we do break, ask my office for a copy of the letter, but it would have been soon after the authorization of the matter. But I do recall having written to Lieutenant General Sentumule, and I recall her then ensuring that the dockets were received accordingly by IDAC.
And just while we're there, we'll come back to the information note, but did you subsequently request information from the National Commissioner himself and write to him yourself?
It is correct, Chair. Once the dockets were received,
so this is now in this second phase of the investigation?
second phase,
Yeah.
the dockets are being referred to. We then request to get those dockets. Once the dockets were received, investigations commenced as the matter was authorized. And when we realized, or when the investigation team realized that there were documents that the investigation required, but they fell within the domain of crime intelligence, we then sought to rather subpoena those documents through the Office of the National Commissioner. He is the head of police, and the National Commissioner would have then had to indicate one of two things. Yes, I will adhere to the subpoena, which he did, or he could have said, I cannot allow for these documents to be made available to IDAC, upon which we would have had to consider what legal recourse, if any, we would have had. But we did serve it on him, given the nature of the environment from which we were seeking those documents.
And when would that have been?
Subject to correction, Chair, that would have been any time from January, February of 2025. We served various subpoenas as and when the investigation indicated the requirement of certain documents, and those documents were either within SAPS or crime intelligence, the relevant subpoenas were issued accordingly. So it wasn't one set of Section 28 subpoenas for documents. It is as and when the investigation highlighted the need to get certain documents from within the police domain.
So was it a request in a letter, or was it a subpoena that was served on the National Commissioner?
We served a subpoena on the National Commissioner. I personally called the National Commissioner to indicate that given the sensitive nature of these matters and given the environment within which we say the documents are, it is a safeguard for the police and ourselves. We are going to subpoena the documents, and it is on that basis that we proceeded. So where one would ordinarily have written a letter, given that we wanted these for court-directed purposes, and I said when we want for court-directed purposes, we issue a subpoena. However, he is, after all, the National Police Commissioner, made the call to indicate. I also asked the Commissioner who would be the nodal point in his office that would be allowed to receive these subpoenas. And those discussions were had between him and myself telephonically, and I then conveyed to the team to go ahead and prepare the subpoenas for the documents we require.
Okay. So when he received the subpoena, your protocol had already indicated to him that he would be getting the subpoena?
Absolutely.
So the National Commissioner would have been aware that the head of crime intelligence was being or is being investigated by IDEC.
That is so. In the issuing of a subpoena, you've got to set out the allegations, and the allegations will indicate that environment and the level of persons. And so the National Commissioner would, by virtue of just having a read of the subpoena, and because of what we were asking, would have known even if you didn't put the name.
Honorable Sangon.
Sorry, Chair, just a clarity-seeking question. Are we using documents and dockets interchangeably? So what were we subpoenaing? Was it getting the additional documents or the original dockets? Thanks.
Honorable Sangoni, the dockets we requested by way of letter from the Divisional Commissioner, Lieutenant General Sentumule. What we were requesting through the National Commissioner was documents that were not dockets, because we had the dockets. So it was documents and information by way of subpoena. Thank you.
You may proceed, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Honourable Chair. And since this was sensitive information, documents, that you were seeking from the National Commissioner, how were they obtained? How were they received? Were they brought to you? Did you fetch them? What happened?
I just would like to add one more point before I answer the question or respond, Council. I also indicated to the National Commissioner in that telephonic engagement that I do accept that it might be quite a lot of documents, and or not knowing where they might be located, he might require more time. Now, the subpoena gives you a fixed number of days. I made it clear to the National Commissioner that should his office require more time to honor the subpoena, he was more than welcome to indicate so that the requisite extension of time could be granted. When the documents, the first set of documents, and the bulk of the documents were ready, the National Commissioner brought them himself in person to IDEC's offices. I wasn't aware that he was going to do that. I was informed by the investigating team on that morning that the National Commissioner was coming to IDEC. I, in fact, said, but I wasn't aware that National Commissioner is coming because there is protocol in how we receive persons of certain standing. I then informed my office that he was going to arrive. He brought the documents. So when I say he brought the documents were in boxes. He was accompanied by certain officials. The one official whom I do recall is Major General Marga van Rooyen, because she's a senior member at Legal Services. The both were invited to my office. We greeted. I did indicate to the National Commissioner, Commissioner, it was not necessary for you to bring these documents yourself. You could have sent them or we could have collected them. And the National Commissioner indicated that these are important documents and it is an important matter, and he therefore sought to bring them himself. I thanked him and had him and the people that accompanied him, together with the investigation team, leave my office so that the discussion around the documents, the adherence, whether in full or in part of the subpoena, and anything else be discussed outside of myself. So what was brought, I cannot indicate, but he did bring them personally.
So you personally didn't open the boxes or whatever?
Not at all. I had no sight of what was in the boxes. It's not my job to do. I have to leave it to the investigating team. Hence, after thanking the National Commissioner, I asked the National Commissioner, the legal officer, other members that accompanied him, and the members of IDEC to go to a different venue within the building so that that handover process and the comparison of what was requested in the subpoena vis-à-vis what was provided by the National Commissioner, that could have been done outside, and that was done.
Excuse me. So that would have been in January, February?
And that's why I say I speak under correction. The subpoenas would have gone out, started going out from January, February. There were subpoenas